Chris Head has 672. Mike Wray has 495. Josh Johnson has 414. And Melvin Williams has 287.
Did you want to introduce me? I can tell.
Oh, shit.
I'm on here for those of you who don't know. I want to thank Adam for putting this together, and I want to thank each of the candidates in tonight's race for agreeing to a joint victory party, because, ladies and gentlemen, we are a united party going into this election.
Thank you. I want to thank my family first and foremost. My wife Deborah, my son Will, my stepson Tom, who's now in Virginia Beach but has been supporting me from afar for the whole campaign. I want to thank these fine candidates who drove us all to better competition, to examine ourselves, to look at the party, to find out where we're going and to push us forward. I want to thank my campaign manager, Steve Mabry, because I'll tell you, I wouldn't be standing here without his help and guidance. And last but not least, all of you who've been so supportive throughout this whole project. Thank you, thank you. And I want to say this, I am very excited about the prospect of November 3rd and beyond. But I also understand, let there be no mistake, we've got a lot of work and a lot of time between now and November 3rd. But I want to commit myself to you folks for the confidence that you've shown in me by putting me in this position. And I can commit to the fact that I will not rest, and I will not relent, and I won't give up until this seat is reaffirmed as a Republican seat, number one. And number two, that I can only hope to aspire to the bar that William Fralin has set for the delegate in this 17th district. And I want to thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure now to introduce to you a man who needs no introduction, and a man who just said nice things about, he didn't even know how nice you're going to be. William Fralin, the delegate from the 17th district who served this district very, very well.
I learned in my career to be short and succinct. Do we have a great bench or what?
Yeah.
Part of this primary was showing who can build an organization, and they all did a terrific job of that, showing who could be the best to represent us. And I think as when the voters spoke, they've settled on somebody who will be able to represent us in a tremendously engaging, energetic fashion with a kind of integrity that we need from the Roanoke Valley. So I'm very happy to support Bill Cleveland, and I'm very excited that he's won. And I actually need to write a check. I didn't know who was going to win. Bill, how do I make it out? A lot of zeros.
You mean how many zeros?
There are $20,000 here, so.
What are the big differences, the way you see it, between you and Gwen?
Well, in a specific context, I'm going to wait on that. I can tell you that from a ideological standpoint, I'm conservative from top to bottom, socially and fiscally. And I think Gwen and I probably have some, my opponent's got some differences with regard to those issues, and I look forward to getting into those, and more specifically, to go forward in the campaign.
Was it sort of win, considering you had 5 candidates in the race?
It's a very complicated issue to try to do a primary. As you know, this is the first time for me in the political arena, so there weren't any specific rules to deal with 5 guys in a primary like this one. So what we tried to do is simply go back to the fundamentals, and that is put ourselves on the line with the individual citizens one-on-one across the district, and that's what we did. One of the things is just to let people know who I am and where I stand, and I'm going to do that with as much enthusiasm as I can muster, and I can tell you that'll be fair amount.
You know, Miss Mason, obviously on Roanoke City Council, sort of has a little name recognition. Does that make it a little harder for you to get that name recognition out? Or
Well, I don't think so at this point. I think the issue is going to be, and I hope that the voters do look at who we are and where we stand, and when they come down to that, and they look at where we are and what I want to do, I think the decision will be one that should be relatively straightforward. I'm looking forward to it.
what's going to be the main issue for you in trying to vote?
Well, obviously there are a couple of issues, but one is economic development and jobs in this situation here. We're in a tough time. But there are bigger issues and more long-ranging issues, I think, and that's specifically education. We've got some real issues here in the district.